Hello everyone, in today's video I will be explaining all the different parts of draft and how to draft. Also, I'll have some gameplay in the background so y'all have something to watch, so without further ado let's get started. The first part of draft I will be explaining is first and last picks. Now if you win the coin flip your team will have first pick, so you will have to pick a brawler that can't be countered easily, like Angelo or Lumi. So basically if you have first pick, you just want to draft a brawler that can't be countered easily, but will also be good in that game mode. Now for last pick, it is a little more complicated because you have to find a brawler that synergies good with your teammates' brawlers, and that also counters the enemy team's brawlers. For example, say our team has STU and Juju, and let's say the other team has Hank, Melody, and Max. You need to draft a brawler that covers the weakness of your team, and that will counter their comp. So in this case, Lou or Chester would be a good brawler because they have the same range, if not more than all the other brawlers on the opponent's team. And also, Chester and Lou are anti-tanks, so they counter the Hank and Melody and make up for the lack of DPS on your team. And so that's first and last picks explained. Now I'll explain synergies. You may be asking what synergies are well there. Basically, brawlers that work well together and help each other. For example, Griff and Bia is a good synergies because Griff can break walls, which gives B more space, and B has more range than most brawlers in Brawl Ball because B is mainly played in Brawl Ball and also Hot Zone. But anyways, Griff opens the map, which allows B to burst down the enemy brawlers. Enemies easier because they can't reach her because they have less in range, and they can't hide behind the walls because they're broken. Also, another synergy is Hank and Gray. Hank can charge his bubble and go through Gray's teleport and keep his bubble charged up so he can surprise attack the enemy team, and also the teleport can heal Hank depending which star power Hank uses. Next part of draft is what I like to call the middle drafts. The middle drafts are the 2nd through 5th pick. When you have one of these picks, you want to go something that is good into your opponent's brawlers, but also won't be able to get hard countered. For example, let's say the other team has first pick in Triple Dribble Brawl Ball, and they go Amber. Then your teammate goes Stu. Then you will need to go a anti-tank because Stu can't be played without a teammate that can do a lot of DPS. So in this case, I would go Chester because he's the best anti-tank in the game. Now, the final part of draft I am going to talk about is counter picks. Now, I've aridly talked a bit about counter picks, but I'll explain what they are even more. So counter picks are when you're drafting and your opponent has picked a brawler and you're trying to counter that brawler. And so there is a triangle of groups, and each group gets countered by a different group and counters a different group. For example, tanks like Hank or Frank gets countered by an anti-tank like Chester or Lou. Also, I'll put a picture up of the triangle so y'all can see what I'm talking about. There is also another group called controllers, and controllers counter anti-tanks, but get countered by tanks. And the reason for that is controllers have more range or can throw over walls, so anti-tanks can't reach them, and anti-tanks don't have a lot of health, so controllers can burst them down easily, but they can't do that to tanks because they don't have a lot of DPS. So that's all I have for you today. Obviously, there is more to draft than this, like every brawler has a counter and counters other brawlers, but we would be here if I said every brawler's counter. So that's all I have for you today. Hope this helped and subscribe if it did. Thanks for watching. Peace.